Does God exist? This question has haunted humanity for thousands of years. Philosophers, saints, scientists, and even ordinary people all have wrestled with it. Some have argued passionately in favor, saying, yes, God exists and he created everything. Others have declared with equal force, no, there is no God, it is just human imagination. And then there are those who remain undecided, saying, I do not know. But according to Advaita Vedanta, the highest teaching of the Upanishads, this very way of asking the question is incomplete. Because to ask, does God exist, assumes that God is something outside of you, something separate, something you can prove or disprove like an object. Vedanta challenges us to look much deeper. It begins not with God, but with the self, with you. Let's pause here. Before you ask about God, first ask, who am I? Who is the one asking this question? If you do not know yourself, how will you ever know what God is? If your identity is unclear, your understanding of God will also be unclear. In Vedanta, the word Brahman is central. Brahman is described as Sat Chit Ananda, pure existence, pure consciousness, pure bliss. Brahman is not a person sitting somewhere in heaven, not a being with likes and dislikes, but the infinite, formless reality that underlies everything. The Upanishads boldly declare, Brahman is real, the world is appearance, and the self is none other than Brahman. This means that your true nature, the deepest I, is not your body, not your thoughts, not even your emotions. It is pure awareness. And that awareness is not separate from the ultimate reality. That is the meaning of the great Mahavakya. Tat Tvam Asi, you are that. Now let's approach the question logically. Suppose someone says, God does not exist. Ask them, who is saying this? They will reply, I am saying this. And who are you? You are consciousness. Without consciousness, no statement could be made. Without consciousness, no thought of God, no denial of God, no question about God is possible. Consciousness itself is undeniable. That is why Vedanta says, the existence of Brahman is self-proven. You do not need external evidence because Brahman is the very foundation of all evidence, of all knowing. Think of it like this. A wave rises in the ocean and asks, does the ocean exist? It sounds almost humorous because the very existence of the wave is proof of the ocean. In the same way, your very existence is proof of Brahman. You don't have to find God somewhere else. Your being itself is divine. Advaita Vedanta also makes an important distinction between the personal God, Ishvara, and the ultimate reality, Brahman. For a beginner, worship of a personal God is very useful. It disciplines the mind, purifies the heart, and provides focus. That is why people pray, meditate, and follow rituals. These practices are not wrong. They are stepping stones. But Vedanta warns, do not mistake the stepping stone for the final destination. The personal God is a symbol, a pointer. The truth is that Brahman cannot be captured in any form because Brahman is formless, infinite, beyond space and time. Here's another example. Imagine a pot filled with space. The space inside the pot thinks, I am small, I am limited. But when the pot breaks, the space inside merges with the infinite space outside. Was there ever really a separation? Number. The space was always infinite. The pot only created an illusion of limitation. In the same way, we feel small, limited, searching for God outside. But when ignorance breaks, we realize we were always one with Brahman. Now, does this mean rituals, prayers, and temples are useless? Not at all. They serve a purpose. They help us concentrate. They give structure to our lives. They can purify the restless mind. But if you stop there, you will remain like a person who worships the finger pointing at the moon without ever looking at the moon itself. The real purpose of worship is to turn your attention inward, toward the self. This is where Advaita's teaching becomes radical. It says, as long as you believe God is separate from you, you will never truly know God. Because whatever is separate from you can only be an object, and objects are impermanent. Real God is not an object to be found. Real God is the subject, the seer, the awareness in which all objects arise. Let's reflect. When you say, I saw the temple, I saw the idol, I saw the sky, All of these are objects of your awareness. But what about the eye that is seeing? That seer cannot be seen as an object. It is the subject itself. And that subject, pure awareness, is what Vedanta calls Brahman. So instead of searching outside, Vedanta turns the inquiry inward. This is why great teachers like Adi Shankaracharya emphasize self-inquiry. He said, don't waste your life only arguing about whether God exists or not. Instead, ask, who am I? What is my true nature? When you realize that the self is pure awareness, infinite and eternal, then the debate about God ends, because you have discovered that you are not separate from reality, you are reality. Let's use another analogy. Imagine you are dreaming at night. Inside the dream, you might ask, does God exist? Who created this dream world? But when you wake up, the question loses meaning. You realize the entire dream was projected by your own mind. Similarly, Vedanta says the world you see is like a projection on the screen of consciousness. When you awaken to your true self, you see that God is not separate, everything is Brahman. So does God exist? According to Advaita Vedanta, the question itself dissolves. God is not something to be proved or disproved. God is existence itself. God is consciousness itself. God is the bliss of your own being. To deny God is to deny your own existence, which is impossible. The real task is not to debate, but to realize. Through self-inquiry, meditation, and detachment, you begin to see that the restless mind is not your true self. You begin to live as awareness itself. And in that state, there is no longer a search, no longer a question. There is only truth, only freedom, only bliss. This is the highest vision of Advaita Vedanta. It does not say, believe in God or reject God. It says, know yourself, realize your true nature, and then you will see that what you called God, what you called Brahman, is none other than your own self. And when that realization dawns, silence follows. The debates end, the mind rests, and you experience directly the answer to the question that has puzzled humanity for ages.